so far? Because like I tend to ramble a little bit.
No,
Does that make
it
sense?
absolutely. I think it makes sense on my side, like
Okay.
with
So
just
is
like
that,
understanding.
yeah. So is that incorporated into the schooling of graphic design, is kind of having some knowledge into the business portion? Because to me, you would kind of have to protect yourself because you put a lot of work into like making something. You would want to like somehow like have like some sort of like ownership of it, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have classes on like ethics and copyright infringement and the importance of trademarking, and then
Gotcha.
how it is that you're supposed to use different types, or excuse me, different elements or different types of media to incorporate in whatever design that you've been commissioned to do, or like if you work for a large corporation or business or what have you, and they have this grand idea, you're taught in school, quotes,
Mm-hmm.
because you know, a lot quotes, right? You're taught in school how to
Mm-hmm.
do that research to make sure that you're not infringing on someone else's creative property. Does that make
Mm,
sense?
yeah.
Hmm.
No,
And
yeah,
so,
I
I mean,
gotcha.
but at the same time,
Okay.
it's super like there's this huge like expansive different types of things that could happen with it, or like different types of designs and things like that. And so that's why, you know, copyright lawyers get paid so much money. But if at any point
Mm-hmm.
you're you as a designer are found to be like infringing on someone else's copyright, then
Hmm.
usually the lawyer will pursue you and like send you a cease and desist. Like it's not an automatic, oh, I'm coming for you. I'm taking all your money. It's kind of like, hey, you may not have
Right,
known
right.
this, but you kind of goofed, and then you're like, ooh, my bad. Let me not do that anymore. Sorry.
Oh,
And then
okay.
it usually goes
That's
away after
cool.
that.
Yeah.
Hmm. And then to answer the second part of your question, as far as like how it is that I got into graphic design. So
Mm-hmm.
when I was a kid, like I've always been an artist. When I was a kid, I used to draw all the time, usually cartoons,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of leans into why like I enjoy drawing the type of art that I do now. Like I usually draw cartoons all the time.
Yeah.
Um, and so I just drew all the time growing up. And you know, going
Yeah.
to being in the military, you know, they always push, oh, go to school, go to school, go to school. And I'm like, oh, I'll go to school for this. Like my degree plans went from I'll go to school for nursing, I'll go to school for
Hmm.
psychology, I'll go to school for finance, and I took a macroeconomics class. I was like, I don't want to do this, right? So then I actually took a step back and I thought about it. And I was like, what do I actually want to do? And I was like, well, it would be super dope if I could just do art for a living. And I did some research into that, and that's how I came across graphic design, because I do like to use computers and things like that. And like it's always a fun challenge because there's always so many different things to learn. Like right now, the
Mm-hmm.
industry standard is using the Adobe Creative Suite. Crazy. The amount of things that are in there, and then the capability that each individual application can give you. So
Yeah.
it's always just kind of like a fun challenge, and that really that really keeps me interested, you know, with
Yeah.
the side of me that can't stay focused for too long.
Because you said you
But
had
yeah,
ADHD, right? Like you kind of
you
like.
know, I'm all over it. It's great. It's a fun time over here. It's a fun
I
time till I
think
forget something.
I think like in all fairness though, like I think that like kind of like all females kind of have that a little bit of like mind kind of goes everywhere at once
Hmm.
feeling.
I
The
So
like to
I
think
feel
it's
like
I
multitasking
like to think it's
brain.
nature.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure, you can make
Mm-hmm.
it sound better and
Right.
nicer. That's definitely better.
Look, I like
um,
to think that it's natural because, you know, typically, like historically speaking, we're meant to raise kids and kids are all over the place. And so if one person has to keep
Girl.
track of kids that are all over the place,
Are like
Jen's
little
a mom,
Tennessee
so
angels.
she
I know.
Girl,
you're speaking to
they're
her
like
inner soul right now.
She's like, thank you.
like
I feel heard.
they're like they're like Taz, the
Mm,
Tasmanian devil, that cartoon Taz. Those are my three kids,
mm.
like just spinning around like I'm that and that. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, oh
You
my
just sit there
goodness.
like,
Anyways, that's how it
was
is.
I this way?
Yeah, AD was saying that he loves how art is
I
like
know.
that
I don't know
and
if I
how
was or
it's
not.
always something new and different to try. So like he
Yeah.
definitely enjoys the that art aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love it. It's great.
Mhm. So what are some of the things that you consider when you're making a design? Like someone gives you like, hey, I want this. I have this idea. So what are some of the things that you take into consideration?
First, it's excitement because it's something new, like trying to get somebody's idea out. Yeah, I
Right.
don't know. I'm like, who? Let's see, maybe a little crazy eye action or something.
Right.
I don't know. So there's the excitement aspect of it, and then once I get past the excitement, then it's like, all right, so what is it that you actually want? What are you trying to convey? Because I can make that happen, but I have to understand what it is that you're looking for that you don't know that you're looking for, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I
Yeah.
have when I have a client like come to me like, oh yeah, we're trying to do this. I'm thinking this thing. I don't know what in total, but this kind of over here, maybe something like this. And it's like, okay, cool. Well, I need to have like a baseline. So if it's for a brand, then I'm like, okay, well, what is your brand? What are you trying to convey? Like, what is it that you want to do? And y'all kind of ran into this a little bit when I did the chibi designs, and I was like, all right, well, what kind of color palette are you
Right.
looking for? What kind of expressions? What kind of tone do you want to set with this? Like, have you thought about how is it that this is going to be displayed? Where do you want to put it? Is this just for online? Is this for different products? Like, are you trying to do a website with it? Do you have a website? Do you have guidelines for how it is that you should be structured in anything that comes out that's pertaining to your brand? Because if you do, then I need to know that so I'm not violating it and that you can use whatever it is that I create.
Okay.
I say but it's kind of like it's a push and pull from both parties. And so like a lot of the times, what I used to run into a lot when I first started was getting very emotionally attached to what it is that I created, but now looking at it, I've matured a little bit more, and it's just kind of like it's a joint effort. So at the end of the day, like I'm making something that you want, that like you're trying to conceptualize and make real. So if it's not something that if I make it and you're like, this isn't what I'm thinking, and it's like, all right, cool. What are you thinking then? Because I don't think the questions that I asked before really got us there. So let's start from the beginning.
Okay. So what are some of those questions that you do ask? So like people that want to use your services know kind of which way to lean, if you will.
Oh, okay. So first it's more along the lines of like, what is it that you want? So right now I actually just started defining my branding statement as a whole, and it's I'm an illustrator for the entertainment industry. Like,
Okay.
right? Illustrator / designer for the entertainment industry, because that's technically what this is, right? So I specialize in illustrations, but I can do other things as well. So are you looking for a character design? Are you looking for, or just like a cute little chibi? Like, are you looking for an emote? Are you looking for like, how PNG tubers are like becoming this big thing now, like it's growing, and a PNG tuber is like a cute little character that kind of sits and like talks for people on YouTube. I don't really know too much about it.
Okay.
Yeah, like, or VTubers, they'll use like an animated they'll use an animated character in place of themselves that'll talk for them, or not talk for them, but like represent them on online, so that they're not sitting there like, oh, this is me exposed to the world.
Okay.
Right?
So you think it's like a privacy type thing that you think people like do that for?
That reminds me of the talking cat.
It made you think of what?
The talking clip, like that was on the Word documents? Is that what you said?
Oh,
makes me think of that. Don't you remember that talking cat app that came out like a long time ago? Like you could talk and everybody was so mesmerized. Like you could talk and the cat would like talk. Do you remember that?
Was it like,
I think it was like Tom.
I think it was like a gray cat with big eyes. I mean, kind of, yeah. And so it's just kind of
like,
oh,
that
okay,
one. That one.
The combo panda. Okay.
Yeah. This is news to
kind of like that. Yeah, like it's a thing now, especially with like people having all of this presence on the internet. So they want to probably, I mean, I don't know, because I don't do it, so I can make assumptions, and it's probably a thing of like maintaining some level of privacy and protection from like your actual day-to-day life. So you don't have people that's like, aren't you? And it's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. But yeah, so like, are
Well,
you
you
looking for
know,
something like that, or like a website? Because I
yeah,
can do full website design too, you know, or a logo because I can do logo design, and you know, I
Mhm.
can do all these things, but
right.
I have to know what it is that you are looking for, and then like how you plan to use it, and then the aesthetic that you're going for.
So Jen, you had a
You know,
question?
well, there is something to be said about the anonymity of it, because I mean, honestly, it does take a lot to come on here and like put your face out there, put your name out there for people to see. And then, you know, if you do get any sort of like notoriety, you could be walking down the street and it's like, hey, I know you. And you're like, dude, I'm just trying to buy some eggs and some bread. Like, I just need you to like
Yeah.
go, you know?
Are you trying to make some
So
French
I
toast,
can,
eggs, and bread?
I mean, maybe.
yeah, yeah. Throw a little milk, some cinnamon and sugar. You got some French toast. I love
It's a great
you
time.
pick that out.
It's the kid. It's the kid for me. I love it.
I can't believe I just gave you the recipe for French toast. But it
Hey,
does
somebody's
take a
taking
lot,
notes.
right?
How much cinnamon? How much do you use vanilla? Because I use vanilla. Like I want to make sure I'm
Girl,
doing this
I
right.
actually do use vanilla. Just saying.
Right? I love vanilla. So
I
like
think it tastes so much better.
oh. Okay. Okay. I like my French toast a little crispy. I don't know. We're going off into a whole rabbit hole of French toast. But,
I do
yeah.
like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you
A
know.
little bit of vanilla, make it crispy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
And that's why I use like the butter, like because it like makes the edges all crispy, but that middle is still like nice and gooey-ish.
Nice and gooey.
Yes,
We're
with my
gonna have
crab
to
hands.
make some French toast.
Yes.
Special
It's happening.
special episode of like
You
Q1
know,
making some French toast.
that's what we should call it, French toast.
You like French toast? We like French toast too. Cool. Let's
Toast,
nerd
you know,
about
it's
some
fine.
French toast. All right. So
you know, it's a little different. The butter placement with French toast versus waffles, like it's a little bit liberating. It's the same.
okay.
Syrup. Because you know, like when you eat waffles, you have to have butter in like every square, and then you have to.
Yeah.
No. Just me.
Okay.
I'm not a huge waffle eater, so
Yeah, I mean, I do know that you do like, especially with like Eggos, even though like Eggos aren't like really talked about as like a waffle, like a Belgian waffle, if you will. But you know, yeah, I mean, if it's like a hot fix, you know, you're on the go and you just got to grab a waffle or whatever. But yeah, 100% butter has to be all up in that. Pancakes and French toast, you just have like that square in the middle and it just kind of
just melts off.
Yeah,
it just melts off. It goes everywhere. Okay, I'm sorry. We'll stop focusing on breakfast, guys.
No, it's okay. We're obviously a little hungry right now. It's good.
Right.
That's perfectly fine. It's perfectly
All right,
fine.
Gigi, what are you currently working on?
Cool. So glad you asked. So actually, again, like very, very best friend. He has a fitness line, right? So I'm actually working on his website right now to get it better than what I did the first time.
Okay.
So it's the stoic. It's like super aesthetic, super like, oh yeah, like I want you to like look good and feel good and you know, stuff like that. And so I actually just finished the intro video and have that like drafted on the website right now, and then like just trying to get everything pieced together, and it'll likely be done within a week. So I'm really excited for that.
That's really cool.
And then my website too after.
Can you tell us about this? This.
Oh.
What is this?
All right. So actually, I just finished this. I was given the idea again from my very, very best friend. Really don't know what I'd do without him. So he's like a huge Star Wars fan. And I would sit there with artist block a lot. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to draw. I don't know what to draw. And he sat there. He was like, draw a girl Boba Fett. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, like misfit, but like misfit. And I was like, oh, that's smart.
Oh,
That's smart,
Okay.
right? So I
Yeah.
sat there and I was like, I don't know how I want to draw it. So I feel like I went searching for this pose and I couldn't find it. So I had to like take some awkward pictures to get this right.
yeah. Some awkward pictures in the mirror, like.
I was like, like setting up the phone on the wall, and I'm just like, whatever, trying to make it happen.
When the
But
light hits just right poses.
it just, and then finally I was able to get something that I could work with, and then just like place it all together. So the idea here is a misfit,
Okay.
and she has her helmet off, and I'm not like a huge Star Wars fan, and so I was later told like she's not a true Mandalorian, and I was like, she's still thick AF. I don't know if there's children on here, but
No.
so I was like, she thick as fuck. She's thicker than peanut butter. Like somebody gonna like her, okay? But yeah, so I finished that, and then I think that's like the most recent thing that I've completed. And I say completed from like the artist sense because now I'm looking at it and it looks kind of naked, and I want to do something with the background. I don't know.
Okay.
I might use it as like a mock-up for character development. Like you get an action pose and then like different angles of the face. I don't know. Random thought. ADHD just out there.
No, like straight up, like I love it, and I love the pose and everything too, especially with the helmet just like resting on the knee. It just looks so cool to me. And as a Star Wars fan, like I do know that like cool, like people say that like it's not the true Mandalorian because the helmet's off, but we were talking about it a little bit before the show that like there is like that one. Jen, do you remember what the name was? Jen?
What's that?
Oh, sorry. The name of the Mandalorian female that has like the helmet off.
The Bo-Katan Breeze?
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Bo-Katan. That's my girl. She's amazing.
Right. So like
seen the show, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Thank you, DFPN. They straight up like people are saving us. They got it. But yeah, like straight up, like there are like different like sections of like the same thing with like nerds. There's different types of nerds, there's different types of Boba Fett's,
Okay, well, we here.
Yeah.
That's good to know. I might do another one. I don't know. We'll see.
Are you planning on making that into like a 3D print or anything, or do you have any aspirations what to do with that, or are you just going to put it on like your website kind of thing?
Oh, okay, so actually, that you bring up a really good point. So I finished it, and my boyfriend was like, hey, so you draw these things, like you make all these custom things, like, and this is also where, like the misfit was coming from, because he was like, draw something that like a large pool of people would want. And then from there, you can create prints from it and then mail out like actual prints for people to have like a physical copy of whatever it is that you drew. And I was like, no, you smart. You smart. Yeah, you're right. I was like, no notes. Thanks. Thank you. I was like, thanks, hon. I'm a little clerk with you. Thank you, though. Right. And so that's also kind of like what was,
That's me and Tay, man. 2 brains, 1 body.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's all good, And so, he was the one that was like, he pushes me a lot in that because I know that like he wants me to be better because he's like, I know you could do better than this. Like, come on. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm being lazy. He's like, you being lazy on your dreams. And I'm like, all right, you're fine. I got it.
He calls you out like that? Jeez.
Yo.
He keeps you honest.
He keeps me honest on it, because like I'll sit there and I'll be like, oh, I want to do this. And then for like a week straight, I won't draw anything. And he's like, I thought you wanted to do this. Like, what happened? And I'm like,
You right.
all right.
Let me get
back. Sorry.
Yeah.
But he's like, don't
I get
apologize
it.
to me.
Sometimes you need
That's you and your
that
dreams,
little
man. And I'm like, you're right. Thanks. I mean, because I need it. Because like I'm usually that person for other people. And a lot of times I won't do that for myself. So like I really appreciate him for doing that for me. Because I know it could be like, come on now, what are you doing? And I'm like, thanks, babe.
That's
I love
cute.
you. Yeah.
you can't always cheerlead for yourself. You know, it's like that's the cool thing about having an awesome partner, spouse, whatever. Like they cheerlead for you, and the cool thing is like you get a good one. Like they know exactly when to do it. Like exactly when you know you need that little bump right there. And you're like, all right, you're right, babe. Thanks. I'm like, all right,
You
I
know,
got it.
and it's
You know
like,
what I mean? Yeah.
you know, you're right. You're right. I was getting complacent. And you're right. And he's like, yeah, ain't no complacency over here. We not falling off. And I'm like, okay, we
We
not
are
falling off.
productive. We are getting out there.
Yeah, it's like, and he'll wait. He'll wait
Right.
because he knows sometimes like I'll burn myself out. And then he's just like, are you working too hard? You know, and I'm like, I'm frustrated. And he's like, what have you done for your own self-care? Like he'll do that like on the self-care side too. He literally was texting me the other day. He was like, do some self-care, like get your nails done or
Oh, that's
something.
good.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, and so I'm like, thanks. I'm a little overwhelmed right now. I appreciate that. I wasn't thinking straight. And he was just like, yeah, the weirdo. I'm like, hi.
Yeah, you need that though. You know,
I do.
you need that little oxytocin boost. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you were talking earlier that you have a lot of different services that you offer,
Yes.
which I was actually like, I'm like, damn, you do all that? I didn't know you did all that because we asked you specifically to like do our TVs, and then you did a lot of stuff for us, but the biggest thing, like I was like super impressed with like the chibis. I'm like, damn, she like captured me perfectly. Like, and you asked me so many questions. I was like, I didn't even think about that. Like you thought about things that I didn't even think of. So what are all the different things that you can do as a graphic designer?
Me personally, I can do the different characters. So like the Miss Beth that we had on the screen, I can do those. I can do the chibis like y'all can see in the USDN logo. I can do actual logos because I did that logo too. I can do websites, and I can do branding guidelines. Just thinking off the top of my head, like big picture things.
What's
And
a branding guideline?
Oh, it's more technical. It doesn't sound as fun and glamorous as like I can make you a logo, you know. But it's like, so you have your logo, right, and your branding guideline or your style guide or what have you is it outlines the typography that you're going to use with your brand, your color, your approved typography, and by typography I mean the different fonts and the size of the fonts. It can go that deep. Crazy. Also approved color palettes. So kind of like how with the USDN logo, like the approved color palette would include that dark red and that black, kind of off black color. And then whatever other color is approved for the color palette. Negative space that or free space that needs to be around the logo so that you don't compromise the integrity of the mark. Different ways that the logo can be arranged. So like right now, just looking at what's on the screen, an approved arrangement would be the logo with the two chibis specifically being with like Jeff and Jenn on the left and then EJ and Tay on the right. So things like that, just the specifics on how your brand is to be represented so that it's not done incorrectly. And then there's a question of validity in whoever is representing it incorrectly. Okay. Yeah. Little nerdy, little technical, you know.
We love that stuff though. Like, you know,
but
we're
yeah.
all
Girl,
out,
if there's anything we love, it's nerd stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how long you've been doing graphic design for, which it's not important, but what have you worked on that you're most proud of? And can you tell me why?
Okay. The thing that I
Ooh, that's a
am the
tough
most
one.
proud of, it
Even
is.
so far.
It's very tough.
So far.
Um,
Yeah, so far. Because you have a whole
Probably
future ahead of you.
I do. Most proud was two things, and it was the same project.
It
So
doesn't even have to be us. I'm not putting you on the spot.
no, it's all good. So actually, the thing that I'm most proud of has
No, because
been.
I'm like, I'm super.
Oh, go ahead. I think the internet, like the connection, is kind of like off a little bit.
Yeah,
Just a
the
little. Oh,
connection's crappy.
you're over
Like,
there
it doesn't
listening
even
to it
have to
being
be
off.
us. Like, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm super like thrilled with everything that you did for us, and I think it's went above and beyond like what we
Mm-hmm.
asked for. So like, even us aside, like, don't even like you don't even have to be like, oh, it's you guys. Like, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
like, for real, like, what is your most thing that you did that you're most proud of, and like, why?
I am most proud of the logo development and intro animation that I did for the Stoic. So that's actually my boyfriend's
Okay.
like personal training business, right? So we both came up with a name
Okay.
together, and then a bunch of ideas came out um as far as like what the mark should look like, and it was funny but mildly annoying because it's like all this work and all this thought went into the logo, and then he was in Poland and he was just out and around, and he saw something that was like almost exactly the same as the logo, and I could have flipped everything over. I was so upset. I was so mad. And I was like, okay, it's fine. It's a growing moment. That's all. It's fine. And then when the logo was actually finally finished, I can shoot it over to you right now, Tay, if you want to put it up. But when the logo was finally finished, and hold on, I can't think and talk at the same time.
No, it's okay. Take your
Hold on.
time, you know.
1 second.
Struggle is real.
Oopsies. Okay. So when the logo was finally finished, we were happy with it. It was good to go. And then I got to work on an animation for like it coming into the like it just like spinning in. So I did some 3D animation on it, something I had never done before. It's crazy. And it's bad because I can't find the original video, but like I know it's up on my social media. Like I know it's up on my Instagram at GGNXBT. It has a dark background. It shouldn't have a dark one. It should be white. But on my GGNXBT profile,
It still
all
looks cool
like
though.
yeah. So like I loved this mark so much, and then like the process to get to it and the growth that came from it. And so recently, I redid the intro, and it has like lightning bolts everywhere. And that one is super dope too. Like, wait, let me see. Because I was actually earlier today, I was cleaning off my computer because I was like, it's moving pretty slow. I think I got a lot of stuff on here, and then I started looking at everything, and I was like, yeah, that's a lot of stuff on here. So I was like transferring everything over to the cloud so that I didn't have it like physically on my laptop, because laptop, I don't know. So I just sent you the video too. I don't know if we can share that one up here, but that process too, again, super growing. Like it was a huge growing opportunity to do something new that like I was unfamiliar with. So we went away from the 3D animation, and it wasn't something that like was requested. I was just like, I want to try this. And then I told him about it. I was like, I have this idea. I'm trying it out for this project. And he was like, yeah, let's go. And I was like, yeah. I was like, thanks for the support. And he was like, yeah, like, what about this? What about that? And I'm like, we're going a little too far. Let's take it back just a little bit. And so like I'm so proud of it because it was like
You're
so
a 10.
far out
I
of my
need you to be a
comfort
7.
zone. It was so far out of my comfort zone, but I'm so happy with the way that it came out and the work that went into it and like the process to lead us to where we're at with it right now. Because the mark hasn't changed and I don't see it changing in the foreseeable future. Like I think that it really identifies the brand as a whole as far as like elegance and but still like strong and like really like it
Mm.
gives strength and elegance at the same time, and that's like the whole kind of baseline for his brand, and I'm really happy with that. And so like if he comes in here and he's like, hey, so I think the logo got to change, I might cry. I might be like, but it was so good.
All right. So I actually do have the video up that you had sent, so we can go ahead and throw that up on the screen real quick.
Okay. So this is the new mark or the new intro that's going to be up on the website when it's live and posted.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I was like, yo, I got like some digital stuff going on here. I was like, it's giving the Matrix the blue.
I love it.
I was so excited. I was over there like, and it's only like 4 seconds, but I worked so hard for those 4 seconds. You have no idea.
It literally looks amazing. Like I don't even know how, like, because I'm not even like anything to do with graphic design. As you know, like when we were talking about the logo stuff, I'm like so like not even like technology like there.
Thank you, AD.
Yeah, AD, you're right, dude. That's like dope. Like I was like, dang, whatever you do going forward, keep that X in your design.
It looks so good.
Girl, yeah, I'm like, I know you're the graphic design artist, but I'm like, that's so eye catching. Like it's beautiful, and I'm just like, wow, I love that.
I'm just like, whew, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. But yeah, yeah. Sorry, I went. It was a place of pride for me right there. And you would think like I'm like, oh yeah, my logo. Nah, I like that one a lot more. But yeah, that's yes.
No, that's like super dope. Like I didn't even know that you could do like intro and like video stuff.
Yeah, I'm all over with it.
Yeah,
I have the whole creative suite.
I love it.
Ooh, awesome. I'm happy right now. My face hurts. I'm smiling too much.
You're used to it.
Y'all don't even know.
You're good.
But yeah.
All right.
I'm good.
So what has been?
I know
go ahead,
we're gonna have more questions, but if anybody has like questions from the audience, like moving forward, just kind of pop them up there if you would, Jeff, and we'll take those. But we'll continue asking some questions if that's cool. GG, you got some more time to hang out with us?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome.
All right, cool. So go ahead, honey.
So the next question that we're gonna just go rolling into, waiting to see if anybody has any of those questions in the chat. But what has been the biggest influence on your life, like in your life, or rather?
As it pertains to what?
I mean, like you can talk about your graphic designing or like your decision to move into graphic. I mean, like it can be really whatever you really want to talk about right now, because this is all about you. Like we're here showcasing you, and we want to know you.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
No problem. I feel like Alex, you're back over here.
It's all good. It's like, could you repeat the question?
Alex, I want the rapist.
What is? What? Girl, what?
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Whew,
I love the SNL skit.
Okay.
Focus.
To repeat the question, who has been the biggest influence on your life?
It's whew. Sorry, need
That's
to
okay.
get it together, pull it in. It has been my boyfriend. He's been the one to help push me to where I want to be, like this whole time. Like I remember when I was getting out of the military, and I was like freaking out, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I need a job. Like I can work here, I can do this, but like I don't feel happy with that anymore. I don't feel fulfilled in that anymore. And like I was freaking out as you do, like when you're faced with a life change
Aw.
like that, you know. So I'm
Ronnie
trying
in
not
here
to
giving you
cry.
little hearts and stuff.
Hi, babe. So I'm trying not to. Ooh, okay. So it's just he's the one that like gave me the kind of courage, like because I felt like I'd be okay doing it, you know? And then especially because like he's been my biggest supporter through all of
Mhm.
it. Like, and that's why like when he gives me the feedback, that's like you can do better. You know, I'm like, you're right, I can. Because he's like, I'm not just gonna be a yes man to you. Like, I'm gonna tell you objectively what looks weird and what doesn't. And if you can tell me why it looks weird, then I'm like, oh, okay, because I'm not a graphic designer. But if you're telling me that you cut corners, then it's like, why are you doing that? You know better. Like you want to be better, right? So don't do that. And he's just been like
Right.
my biggest like source of support, like the shoulder, the everything, you know. And so it's just kind of like I told him I was like, I'm scared to do it, and he's like, you don't get anywhere like by doing what you're comfortable with, and it doesn't matter what's gonna happen because like I'm here for you, I'm supporting you, like whatever you need, like we'll make your dream happen, but don't give up on yourself because I'm not gonna give up on you. And it's just kind of like, you know, having that level of support. And I don't want to say I've never had it at all, but I've never had it like that. And
Yeah.
so that's, you know,
You found your boo
I'm good
thing.
now.
Get it?
I'm good now. But yeah, so like I remember because like I figured like that's where the question was gonna go, and I looked at it and I was like, gotta reel it in. but yeah,
Good.
No,
it's him.
everybody needs that person, really,
Yeah.
like, you know, to like help guide you in life and like push you to do that kind of stuff. Like Jenn definitely helped me becoming into like this whole podcast thing, because I would have never have done it without her. Like this is just so out of the blue and
Oh,
not something that I ever
80s
thought
better.
that like, yeah.
It do, AD, it do.
Look at your hubby. Steven Priest over there. Well, you know, I think that's really important where you're so selective about the people you allow into your life, into like your inner circle, because they do drive you. They you know, they pump you up when you need it. They give you hugs and console you when you need it. And you know, I mean, I'm a nurse now, and you know, there's days where I'm kind of a crappy nurse, and then there's other days where I'm a freaking rock star. And you know, I need my significant other, which is Eric, to help me be the rock star that I am. And I, you know, you can't do stuff without them. Like you really need that home base, girl. I feel you. I feel you there.
And always like support
So,
to like support
so
you
Kaylee made a good comment. Absolutely. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no,
Tay,
I mean,
what's
that
she
was
saying?
just like, that was just me saying, like, you know, like, AD definitely has been, like, always there for me. Whereas, like, when we were like, we're going to do this podcast thing, and I was like, okay, like, and then we started talking about, like, logos and, like, financing it and everything, and I was like, I just looked at him and I was like, is this something we're able to do? And he's just like, yeah, this is something you're passionate about, and I can see that. And he definitely, like, pushed me, to like, just, he was like, you got to do it at some point, and you just gotta do it, really. But yeah, Kaylee did put something awesome in the comments that we're gonna go ahead and question.
Yeah, I couldn't do it without you.
Thanks, Jenn.
My take.
All the hearts.
All the hearts.
All the hearts. So, got a question from the audience. So, Kaylee says, "What makes you more grateful, the growth or the success? That is a great
That's a really good
question.
question.
Thank you.
A really good question. Thank you for that. Honestly,
Right?
like my very first answer is growth, and then like in the back it's like girl success. But I feel like I should go with I feel like I should go with my first thought. I'm definitely more grateful for the growth. That being said, is because you can't really quantify how you grow in the thing that you're passionate about. Like you can quantify success depending on what it is that you're measuring it by, but to say like I've grown from something, I feel like that has a bigger impact. And so I am so grateful for the growth because within growth, I'll be successful.
That's good.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it is. Like AD put in like a good
Awesome.
comment, and he says
Yeah.
that the success can't happen without growth. So like, straight up, it does make sense.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, the same thing with Destiny,
Yeah,
because we
I
play
get it.
Destiny together. You know, you
You
start out
know,
with
that's
level 1, and you gotta grow
Gigi,
from there. Go ahead, Jen.
for real.
thank you.
Sorry, my internet's lagging, so I apologize when I'm stepping on people because Xfinity, you're doing me wrong, dude. Turn to megabytes per second, my ass. Anyways, so Gigi, what do you do to improve your skills? I know, like in my profession, and then in our old profession as 1 Charlie 5s in the military, we always had like continuing education and everything. So what do you do as a graphic designer to like continually like improve your skills and to learn?
I actually follow this group I found them on TikTok, like I randomly saw them on TikTok, and I follow them on Facebook and
Sure.
Instagram now because I think it's called
Mhm.
The Brief Collective, and it's literally an entire brand that was made by two graphic designers, two female graphic designers, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's an entire brand made specifically for graphic
Okay.
designers to get better. So on like a weekly or bi-weekly basis, they'll be like, all right, this is the project for the week. The first however many submissions are going to get like one-on-one feedback from us on what they could do better. This is how we're going to help you to improve your brand. You want to go from making $75 logos to closing $10,000 deals. That is the goal because that's what we do and that's what we want to help you do because there's no guide like written out to just,
Nice.
if I follow these steps, I'm going to do this thing. So I'll follow them.
Hell yeah.
And yeah,
Okay.
and like look at what they're saying because they've been in the game, if you will, for so long. So I'm like, yeah, let me learn, right? That's from the business side and like the technical graphic design side of it. But then like from the illustrator side of it, draw what I'm uncomfortable with. It's a lot easier said than done, right? But drawing what I'm uncomfortable drawing. That's the only way to improve is to just I don't want to do it, so I gotta do it. I tried, I'm not gonna show it, but I tried Transformers just came out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
Right.
good. It's all I am a movie goer, right? So we went to go see Transformers, the new one, and it has what's it called? What's that child's name? I don't know, whatever. So there's a kid in it, and he's he's famous. He doesn't care about this, right? So there's a kid in it, and he's driving a Porsche 911, and the Porsche 911 is the Autobot Mirage, right? So I had this idea. I was like, yo, I'm gonna draw Mirage like in full Autobot form, chilling like with his leg up, arm on a knee behind a Porsche 911 with the dude driving a car, leaning on a car. Complete and utter failure, but I tried.
Yeah.
Right? And so like if I were to try it again, and that's fine because that's a part of the growing process is that like it's something I've never drawn before. I knew it was going to take a lot of detail. I knew it was going to take a lot of time. And a lot of times the most difficult thing for an artist is to just start drawing. Because you'll sit there and you'll be like, oh, well, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. And you get stuck in your head in this little loop and you never actually start. So it doesn't matter if you fail, because it's not really a failure. And this is something that I took away from weapons school. You can say that I failed, but if I'm learning something, am I really failing?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, right? Like if I'm
That's
learning
deep.
something,
Yeah.
I'm taking something away that you can't really always quantify. So I can take this and move forward and apply it in my future endeavors and be successful later on, even though I took what you might see as an L today. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I looked at it and I
Yeah.
was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, try that again later. But yeah, draw what you're uncomfortable drawing.
Okay. I like
Mm-hmm.
it. That's I mean, like, that's the only way that you are going to sharpen those skills. It's just continuously doing things that you haven't done before, I feel.
Yep, pretty much.
All right, Jen.
That's how that
I think
goes.
it's time for closing question. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay.
So, Gigi, we have a really, really important question to ask you. So, as you know, Taylor and I are huge nerds and damn proud of it. Just saying. So, who is your favorite hero or villain? And you have to tell us why.
Ooh, that's a loaded question. You gonna have me talking for days.
Girl,
You know, I say that, but I have my favorite. It's Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn. Yep. She's my
I like
favorite.
Harley. She's cool.
Got
Yeah.
it tattooed on my leg. I love Harley Quinn. Like
What?
Dr.
You gotta
Harleen.
show me.
I'll show you
the
later.
ink, girl. Show me the ink.
I'll show you later.
I want to see it.
Yeah, I got you. But Dr. Harleen Francis Quinzel, that's my girl. I know you know the answer.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like she was in the mindset of kind of use what you got to get what you want to get her degree. That's a whole other thing. But it's her level of passion, man. Like I will always, like, I don't know, simp over a passionate character. And her level of passion toward the Joker is crazy. Yeah, I did. Said her whole government name. Like, that is my girl. Cause she knows what she wants. And she has like this huge heart. And like, I mean, yeah, okay, she's a criminal, but she's not a bad person. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I mean, you look at some people that aren't in jail per se, and it's like, I mean, but you're a shit individual. What, like, I fucks with her heavy. Like, she's passionate, she's smart, she's a whole doctor. Like, come on, like, is she not just a doctor for shiggles? Like, she has her doctorate in psychiatry, I want to say, because that's how she met the Joker. But yeah, I like that she also changes her outfits, because I know y'all stale over there. Like, why your outfit don't cycle through? And she's always into something. Like, she grew as a character. There was a lot of character development for her. Like, come on.
The character growth right there.
Right? I'm just saying, because she went from just following the Joker around to being in the Gotham City Sirens, and then Suicide Squad, which, come on, Suicide Squad is Harley Quinn and her bitches. Let's be honest. Right? And then her and freaking Poison Ivy got together and did their whole little shebang bang, right? Like, come on now. She has the same immunities as Poison Ivy because they were girlfriend. Come on. I love Harley. Sorry.
Wait, Gigi, do you read comics? What am I? What are you? Okay, I knew you were a nerd. I'm like, you're talking about stuff. I'm like, that wasn't in the movie. I'm like, you read comics, don't you?
I sure do. I was upset with the movie. I was like, oh, this could have been better. I was like, don't nobody care about Deadshot. Oh my gosh, it was so bad.
What, girl? That is why Taylor do what we do, because we take the comics and we look at the movies. I'm like, listen, this is not what happened. Let me clarify. Let's bring some facts to the nerddom here, because a lot of people don't know that stuff. You know what I mean?
They don't, and it threw me off with New 52 when they like changed her origin story. I was like, How would you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah. All right. Whew. But yeah, Harley
Right.
Quinn. That's my favorite villain. Thank you for asking.
All right, so
I
we're
like
gonna
it.
go ahead
Good choice. Good
and
choice.
wrap it up with since we have officially hit an hour, so we're gonna do our final shots and thoughts as part of like the DFPN as they do. Sorry, hold on, let me get this banner right out of the way so we can get your name up there. Okay. All right. Well, I hope that you all enjoyed the first of many interviews that we will be doing. We like to appreciate like everybody that came out and commented. That's been super amazing. And you can find Gigi on her Facebook. It's going to be under Gigi, and then there's going to be like a space, and then the NXBT, since now you know what that means. Or if you will, golf, space, November, X-ray, Bravo, and Tango. All right, go ahead, Gigi. Where else can we find you?
I have my website up now, GGNXBT.com. I am on Twitch at GGNXBT. I'm on Instagram, GGNXBT. I'm on TikTok at GGNXBT. And email at GGNXBT@gmail.com.
Awesome. So please check out Gigi's Linktree. We had already saved it to the group, and we will go ahead and share it as well. Again, for those of you who have missed it, as well as her website. And then just check out her artwork because she has been super amazing with everything that she's done for us, as you can see in like the over here. There we go, up there. So right here you can see the logo for the USDN with the chibis. As I thought they were Tripoli's this entire time. Yeah, see, it's hard to.
It's weird. It's weird.
It's like video games.
So
It's real.
Go ahead and check out her artwork and hire her for your graphic design needs because she has been nothing but amazing and helpful for us. Thanks, Dad. He said we had a great interview.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate you, bud.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelvin. All right. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. And always, if you're not getting your nerd podcast from the USDN or DFPN, then it's not USDN approved. All right, we're going to go ahead and hit it with the closer, and we're going to